to the show!
Bruce from Union. You rock and roll all night. Turn it up and go get laid.
How you doing, doll? Alright. She always loves a big wet and juice suck. Alright, so we're ready for me. Still got your,
All right, New England.
make sure they know we're gonna sign. Yeah, with purchase, I think. Yeah, it's all right.
Let's hear it for Bruce Kulick.
Hey, how's it all going here? Okay?
Yeah. All right.
I think I just woke up, so excuse the New York drawl. Aye. Maybe I'll take these off. I'll see you a little better. Oh, there you go. Okay. So here we are, New England Kiss Convention. Finally, right? Yeah. Looking at this date for like 3 months, I think, maybe longer. All right, so where do you want to begin? You know, the guys are anxious to play, but we'll do this Q&A, and then shortly after 5 o'clock, we'll get the band to make some noise for you, which I'm looking forward to, of course. All right.
Bruce, did you have anything to do with playing on the new Psycho Circus album?
Oh, here we go with Psycho Circus, yeah. Well, I was involved early on with demos with Paul, which was, I gotta admit, I was really flattered that he would ask me, because to be honest, as much as we were still friends, you know, it's not as if I ever thought I'd necessarily be working in any creative kind of situation with them, you know. And it was a little nerve-wracking at first, but and then I was just doing what I do best, which is being supportive and playing guitar. And Paul wanted to develop these ideas. For myself, I didn't want to just be, I was hoping maybe I could write something with him, you know, because he didn't really ask me to write anything. But as it turned out, this one song, "Dreaming," I wound up getting involved with. I haven't heard the whole record, but from what I heard of Paul's songs, a lot of the stuff sounds very much like the demos, okay? I didn't play guitar on the record, but I know they recreated a lot of the stuff to a pretty good degree, you know? And from what I could tell of the record, too, I mean, it's kind of interesting that a lot of the guitar work's more 80s sounding than maybe 70s, and I know the solos that are on the songs that I did with Paul were the same solos that he played, you know, in front of me, and I know Ace knows that, so like, I don't think any of the leads on Paul's songs are Ace. I think they're all, or I can't be sure about a few of them, like there were 2 things he cut without me that I didn't know about, didn't demo with him. But a lot of people say, oh, it's got to be you on Dreaming, or it's got to be you on this one, and I didn't play the guitars on that, you know, so, but I don't know who it was, but I know Paul played a lot of lead, you know, and Paul's not a bad guitar player, you know, I mean, he played the solo, I think, on Shandy or something else from the past, I mean, he's done that. But oddly enough, the record sounds kind of, I mean, I like what I heard of the record, but it sounds more 80s than I ever expected them to do, in a sense, but what's wrong with the 80s, you know what I mean? You know, so I think it has a little bit of everything for everybody. I really think Ace's track is great when I heard that one. I really dig that one. But, and Psycho Circus is a cool song, you know, and I'm also proud of my friend Kurt Cuomo, because he's got a couple of co-writes on that record. Kurt's the guy who wrote on the Union record with me and John, and of course on Carnival of Souls. So I'm just really happy about that, you know. So, and I hope it does well. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's coming out soon. And I would wait. I mean, I know a lot of people are listening on the internet and they've heard advanced copies or something, but the 3 tracks that Paul played me in his car, which was first generation, it just sounded awesome, you know. So when you get the real CD, you're going to be blown away with how good it sounds, you know. Yeah, next. French fries.
On Carnival Souls and other Kiss albums, did you play bass, a lot of bass tracks on the recording sessions, and why? Why didn't Gene do it?
Yeah, you know, like for example on Revenge, Tough Love, the song I wrote, you know, we transposed it, which means we changed the key pretty radically, like right at the, you know, last minute, and it was easy for me to do it, and Ezra just was like, you do it, you know, just like Paul played bass on Love Gun, okay, and Eric Carr played bass on I Love It Loud, you know. Yeah, there's no egos with that, and I still love you, rather, not Love It Loud, right? I still love you. So, you know, it happens, you know, and as long as it's done with the right spirit, Kiss is very much like the Beatles were, where I was blown away at how much actually McCartney really played drums or guitar on certain Beatles tracks. And you treat it as the Beatles, and it's not that important. But I know with the fans right now, everyone's like really curious about everything. But you know, I'm not a bad bass player, so I'm proud of, you know, that there's a couple tracks on Carnival of Souls that it was just, once again, the demo being recreated was easier for me to just jump in and do it. As long as I played it with a snot that Gene liked, and he's cool about it, you know. And this occasional guitar part that he'll do or something, because it's just like I'm not getting the right feel. So the band's very much like that, always, you know, passing the guitar around. And you know, I think it's kind of cool. I was always proud of playing bass on Forever also, because I figured, okay, that's the biggest single that I you know, to play bass on, so that was kind of cool. But either way, anytime I do it, it would be like imitating Gene. It would be like putting on the monster boots and playing bass, you know. So, and I really respect, it's funny because it's not because Gene can't do it, it's just sometimes this feel is a little more awkward or a little more kind of monster sounding, you know what I mean? He has a tendency to kind of stomp on things a little bit, and if a song needs a little more finesse, you know, what's going to rule is the song, not about who's going to play what, you know, and that's the way it always is. But good question. Oh, yeah.
Mayhem Records, it seems like they're, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like they're advertising for you guys. You know, barely hear anything. What's the story with them?
Yeah, you know, I shouldn't complain about what's going on, but there is a lot of different things going on with Mayhem. First of all, when John and I put the band together and shopped the demo tape, a lot of the majors were like, oh, well, those are the guys that used to be in Kiss and Motley Crue, and that whole era of music nobody cares about anymore. You know, there was a lot of that kind of attitude. So it was obvious that our best shot was with an independent label who believes in kind of, you know, hard rock. And apparently Mayhem at the time saw us as a very, very cool thing for their roster, which I agreed about, because a lot of the other bands they picked up were very, really hardcore, okay? And I think they had best intentions when we first got involved, and certainly because it's not a major label, you can't get certain things accomplished that a major label will get accomplished, such as if you're distributing Pearl Jam, you can shove a lot of records down someone's throat because, you know, you got Pearl Jam, right? So it hasn't always been easy, though. Their intentions were really strong, and they certainly spent a decent amount of money on us, although I'll still hear from you fans, I can't find the record. You know, I understand that. Part of that's the distribution and the nature of an indie label as compared to a major label. And as soon as you get the music business involved, anything can happen, you know. Fortunately, I think we made enough of a splash that we got people aware of Union. Presently, Mayhem's kind of in an influx right now where they're I'm not sure what's going to happen with them, actually, because they've kind of pulled back on a lot of things and they're waiting for some things to go down. But it's all about really the band taking control of its own destiny without even a label or management necessarily, and that's what this whole tour has been about. You know, a lot of people said you can't do it, it's not going to work, and through a lot of hard work with the band, and me being real aggressive with trying to meet guys, you know, do gigs like this, we were able to put together a tour now that's been going very well. So you know, as much as I feel like Mayhem's been a help, where they couldn't do it, I didn't want to sit back and whine about it, and that's really true with anything in life. Don't complain about, you know, what's going on. Just try to make a difference yourself. So, you know, literally, I was sending out packages to people. You know, I'm making phone calls. We have really great Union fans who, of course, came from Kiss fandom. Okay, being great Kiss fans that helped the cause for us. I can't tell you what a difference it's been for some of these people who have really done amazing things for us. And that's what it's really about. The label's great as much as they want to be and be there for you, but I can't tell you how much I've gotten accomplished by some fans through the internet and the industry who make phone calls so that I can do interviews and get on the radio and all that. Beyond that, there is a certain amount of political stuff that just can't get done without a big push or money. It's kind of sad to say that, but even Mercury used to drop the ball a lot with Kiss. I think you guys know that, you know, and they have more money than God, you know, so it's just, you know, you never know with the labels, so I don't want to sound angry at Mayhem. It's just, you know, I know they really believe in us and really have done the best they could, and I apologize if anybody you know, tried to contact them about something or something and didn't get the right response. You know, it happens, but their intentions were always good, and you know, well, I hope they survive and things improve for them, and if not, you know, whatever, we got a record out, and I'm really proud of the music, and you know, they believed in us, and I got to give them credit for that.
Next.
Yes.
Hi Bruce, welcome back. I was here last year when you were in New England and the Boston convention.
Right.
Glad to see you back, and I'm glad Union has put out such a really good album.
Thank you.
I think you've extremely grown as a musician. It was exactly what I was expecting since Carnival of Souls. Like I mentioned before one time too, I really enjoy it now. I'll give you a minute.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I'm trying here. You know. Go ahead.
I really like it that you did another track for you on the Japanese seed. I think it's a killer track, killer lead. My questions is, now Eric Singer, I heard, is now working on a solo project, and I was wondering if you can give us some info on that, what maybe you'll be doing. And second of all, I mean, you seem to still be on good terms with Paul Stanley, you co-wrote things and such.
Yes.
How come maybe the possibility, why isn't Union gonna, like, hopefully tour with them?
All right, I would love to do some dates with Kiss. There couldn't be anything better for Union, of course, okay? They all came down to the show that we did in LA, including Ace. They were very supportive. I know they enjoy the band. They all have the record and all that. From what I understand, I mean, I'm going to leave it for them to make their big announcement, which is coming, you know, about the tour and all the dates. But I'm just getting the sense that they may not even be doing any opening acts, you know? You know, well, if they're going to do a stadium, obviously they'll do a Smashing Pumpkins or whatever. And, you know, just like when they did the big Tiger Stadium, they had a really big bands with them too. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I'd love to say, you know, that we can get an opening slot, but you know, my relationship's great with the guys, but it doesn't mean just because they like me and they respect me that they necessarily are going to let us open up. It would be a dream come true, to be honest with you. It would be really amazing, but let's see what happens. That's something that still, I take it day by day. A real important lesson there. And then regarding Eric, I'm really proud of the fact that some people offered Eric an opportunity to do like a fun record, you know, which came out of kind of some of these conventions when we used to jam together and do cover songs, and it's really a lot of work to put together a band and with original music. I can't tell you how hard it was to do the Union record, and you know, I loved every second of it, but that's a lot of work. But if you're going to do some covers, that's a lot less pressure, as you can imagine. So Eric picked out some, you know, Aerosmith tune, a Deep Purple song, a couple Hendrix songs, you know, and we have a really cool record that he asked me to guest on. John is on it. Carl Cochran, of course, from Ace's band is on it. There's one other really special guest on it that I'm not going to give away the name to, but that's very exciting that he's on it as well. And I think it's a great record. You know, it's just for fun, and I think that's what Eric decided to call it, and it's just going to be called ESP, and it's going to come out sometime in the next few months. I know that I just saw the artwork for the cover back in the Midwest, and yeah, it's a cool record. It's going to be fun, you know. And next for Union, I don't really know either what's going to happen. I've been taking it day by day about this tour. We're going to be back in town right here in Warwick, Rhode Island on Wednesday night, a place called the Station. The Station? No, the Station? The Station, okay. I hear it's a cool club. So come on down to that. And it looks like we have dates up until the very beginning of October, which, again, I'm really proud of that. And we'll see what else happens. And then, you know, who knows, maybe we could do some dates with a band like Kiss or Cinderella or Rat or whoever's going out there. It's just, it's a lot of work to get out there, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Hi, Bruce. You remember me from last year?
Yes.
I want to know how...
Scooby-Doo.
What's wrong with Scooby-Doo now?
I think that's cute.
Okay. Okay. How have you been doing past year? And my main question is, how did you pick the name Union for your group? It's a good name.
Yes.
I'm just curious how the name came out.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
It was really hard to find a name that didn't sound kind of corny. You know, we used to have a lot of funny names, and then we'd hear about a new college band that just came out, you know, called Space Monkeys or something like that, you know. It's not an easy thing, but really, it was, you know, yeah, the band started with John and I, but there's two other real important members, Brent and Jamie, and I gave everybody it's like a homework assignment. We got to write down some ideas. You know, everyone's got to work at this. And I'm sure a lot of you people have computers at home, and it just turned out I stuck Brent in front of my computer with the encyclopedia thing, and he's just flipping through things, and I think he read something about California joined the State of the Union in 19 whatever. He wrote Union down, amongst other words. So then the next day, now you got to realize we're almost done with the record. The label is like, all right, Karabi Kulick project, you know, which is a bad moniker. I don't want people to think it's a project. It's a band, okay? We're all sharing in the wealth and the no money. You know, I mean, it's about all four of us together in this. And finally, when I was reading them to John, and that's what teamwork's all about. I'm like, okay, here's Brent's, you know, words that he wrote down, and all of a sudden John just said, Union, that's cool. And I thought about it, and I said, you know, I didn't think of the thing, okay, Kiss did a reunion, you know, what reunion? No, I didn't think along those terms, but I realized, yeah, it's a simple, strong word that represents guys coming together, standing up for something, because, you know, I don't ever feel like I was wronged. I just want everyone to understand that. I always knew that at some point the guys could put on the makeup and I'd be out of a gig, okay? And that's what went down. And I wasn't out of a gig because I'm not talented and I didn't do my job in Kiss. It's just there can't be two versions of the band. There can't be a makeup version and a non-makeup version. So for me, coming together with new guys and everything, and that's what the symbol's about too, which some fan made me this, which is kind of neat, right? It's just four of us, the 4 point stars, kind of touching together. And that's why, you know, we didn't do this kind of naked girl on the cover or, some other landscape picture. We just figured, let's get a logo that kind of, in some way, would work with the word union, you know. And I was really happy that we found that. And I've blown away that there are actually some fans who even have tattoos of it, you know, on their body, you know, the symbol or whatever. But that's kind of neat. But it all kind of works. I mean, it's very hard to get that name thing going, but I really feel like the whole thing came together for us pretty well. Okay.
Hey, Bruce.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good.
I'm just curious. Part of your early influence as a guitar playing, I think, is like Jimi Hendrix and then Jimmy Page. How much of that influence is in the Union music? And on future albums, will you be doing any cover songs from the old stuff?
Well, I think Eric's record really covered a lot of cool cover stuff from that, which I don't know. I mean, it's possible. Union does. We're going to do a couple covers today, actually. That's kind of fun. But you're right about the influences. Those people, you know, they're not that dissimilar to who Ace was into and Gene and Paul. You know, there's something about the British invasion in the 70s, even though Hendrix was actually American, of course. He broke out of England, you know. I can't get away from those guitar players, you know, and they were a big part of how I approach my guitar playing. So, you know, Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, all that kind of stuff. And it's really just good blues-based rock and roll guitar playing, you know. So I'm just really, that's what I dig, and I guess you'll always hear a little bit of that, but I do think I do it my way at least, you know. It's kind of cool. And then, you know, it's kind of curious how a lot of that stuff is still growing in popularity. Hendrix's legacy goes on, Led Zeppelin will never stop, just like Kiss won't, you know. I mean, it's just always going to be there, you know, moving on. Here she is, the big smiley girl. She's got her whole Union outfit on.
Well, the reason I have it on is because you're one of my favorite guitar heroes.
Oh, thank you.
You're absolutely marvelous. I'd like to know, what is the biggest disappointment in your career, if you have one? And you were
biggest disappointment. I have a very early one. Okay, there was in high school. Okay, no, it was actually junior high. I was asked. They gave everybody like music aptitude test in a tricky way. They sat you in an auditorium and just answer yes or no, true or false, or whatever. And obviously I passed, you know, really well. And whoever got like a high grade, they wanted to be in the school band, you know. And at the time, this is really funny trivia. You know, I had to go to Hebrew school, okay, which is like, don't ask me what that's all about. But you know, it was just it was going to conflict, and they wanted to give me bass, you know, stand-up bass. which at the time I was like, well, I play guitar, you know, who cares, no big deal, all right, you know, whatever, you know, who wants to lug that on the bus every day, you know what I mean? But I regret that now. I think that would have been like an amazing experience for me to actually learn how to play a stand-up bass guitar, you know. But not that I couldn't pick it up now, but it's a pretty beastly instrument, to be honest with you. But I kind of regret that I wasn't in my school band. That would have been fun, you know. No other regrets. I mean, the opportunity to play with Kiss and some of the artists that I've worked with, from Meatloaf to Michael Bolton to Billy Squier, you know, I'm very, very proud of all that, you know. So that's kind of funny thing that I missed out in life. There was a marching band out here earlier today. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Yeah, I could have been one of those guys, you know, walking down the street. Oompa, oompa.
Okay, we got time for 2 or 3 more questions. Who's got any more questions? Raise your hand. How's Bob?
How is Bob? Bob says hello. He's doing fine. The coolest thing, I know a lot of people always ask, what's your brother doing? He's kind of not really doing his own band thing anymore. I mean, he's becoming one of those behind-the-scenes guys, you know, producing. He still plays guitar. He's got the last thing that he did was a really cool record. I heard most of it before I went out on tour, an Alice Cooper tribute record that's got some really cool people on it. Eric Singer does play drums on the track. There's the guys from Megadeth. There's guys from Def Leppard. There's Slash plays lead. Roger Daltrey sings a song. Bruce Dickinson. Just a lot of really cool people. Steve Lukather. So it's a good record, you know. So look for that. And he just stays real busy in LA with different things like that.
How was it playing the Carnival Souls?
How was it playing it? Well, we never got to play it live, but you'll hear some of it today, okay? But, you know, thanks. Hey, applaud when you hear the song, okay? You know, doing that record was a lot of work for me. I mean, I got so obsessed doing it that, as you notice on the album cover, which we didn't know was going to be the album cover at the time, but, you know, I grew a big beard, and, you know, it was like my Beatle Let It Be period, you know? I just never left the studio, and I enjoyed it. I didn't realize that part of why Gene and Paul were a little preoccupied sometimes was because they were recreating this, you know, making sure they can get Ace and Peter, you know, together so that they could do the reunion tour. And that's a lot of work right there, you know, between lawyers and the business people involved to say, okay, we know this is how we want to do the tour, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, for me right then, I jumped in, you know, I try to really always do everything 100%. And certainly at that time, since they were letting me I had so many songs that I contributed to, they let me sing a song. I was just like in the studio all the time, you know, which is not a bad place to be. You don't get a good tan, but, you know, if you're going to do your music, it's what I love to do, and I work just as hard, obviously, on the Union record, so, you know, listen to that, you'll hear that I just try to make sure that everything sounded as good as it could, make the guitars as crunchy as can be, or, you know, as sweet as can be.
Okay, here's the last 2 questions right here.
All right, if you weren't busy in the next, say, like 5 years, you weren't doing anything, and they just did another reunion with you and Eric Singer, would that be something you'd be up for, or consider?
You know, I haven't burned any bridges, and I don't rule anything out, obviously. I don't have any animosity towards the guys. I don't really kind of see it happening, but, you know, then again, the Kiss's career is pretty wacky. You know, I mean, some of the things that have gone down break all rules, you know, of any band, I think. So I wouldn't say that in some shape or form it couldn't be possible, but I just really think that, you know, they're so comfortable in makeup and doing it that way. I don't know how they would do a reunion without the makeup, although maybe that would be interesting 5 years from now. Who knows, you know? Yeah. So I don't rule anything out, but, you know, right now I really got to take life day by day. Eric's on good terms with the guys, and I obviously get along with Eric, and, you know, everybody's cool with everything, you know? So we'll see what happens. I can see, you know, if Ace did a solo tour, Eric could be his drummer. You know, who knows?
That's the thing I was
I'll
going
play
to
bass.
Okay. if Eric, why wasn't, did you even consider Eric Singer to play with Union?
Of course. I mean, we talked about, you know, as soon as we really knew, all right, Kiss is, the end of the road has come for us. You know, what do you want to do? And for Eric, I mean, he felt being in Kiss is a big commitment, and it's not like you're free to do a lot of things, you know, because the band takes up a lot of your time. putting a band together is a big commitment, and you gotta sacrifice. The whole band has sacrificed tremendously to do Union, and at a cost. I gotta admit, I've made less money having Union together than just trying to do whatever I could do. You see what I mean? But I don't regret that because I believe in the band and I'm very proud of the music. Okay. For Eric, there was no way that he was ready to like, all right, I'm going to join a band and do a band thing. He was like kind of itching to be free. And he's done actually really well with that, even though, you know, like any career, you know, there's little lulls and ups and downs. And he's really been kicking ass lately. Now, you know, he went from doing stuff with Alice Cooper and now he's playing with Brian May. And then the solo record, obviously. And I don't think they'll do anything with Badlands. Something about Jakey Lee and him, I doubt it. But you never know. So, you know, it was just real clear he wanted to do his thing. And ironically enough, he's very good friends with Brent. The drum kits on the Union record are really Eric's drums. Everything's Eric's stuff, you know. He's really been like the fifth member for the band, and he knows I'll always be there for him with whatever he needs. And I don't rule out us doing things together as well. I'd like to think that maybe, you know, I could just do a side project thing with Eric as well as have my band Union, you know. And that'll be great, you know. So we'll see what happens, but you know, I'm just really glad that we're all close and it's not like any bullshit going on with anybody, really not. And including Ace and Peter and everybody else. Everything's very cool. Everybody's cool with everybody, you know. I get along with them, yeah, absolutely. I see Ace, you know. It's fun. It's kind of funny. You know, he always respected me and I always respected him, so, you know, what are you going to do? All right, here we go, last one.
Both you and Eric have done a couple of special appearances on some tribute albums.
Right.
The Rock Records,
yes.
The Dragon Attack, Queen tribute,
yeah.
And Forever Mod, the Rod Stewart tribute. How'd you get hooked up with those, and do you have anything like that planned for the future?
It's always possible. We know the people, obviously, they draw from the kind of pool of musicians that they feel would fit. That kind of stuff. We have a good friend who actually works for D-Rock, this girl Shelley, who's really the band's Union's den mother. She's a cool girl, and she's involved with some of the records you mentioned. I don't want to always do every one. I mean, I didn't wind up on an AC/DC one. I didn't do. There was another one. I didn't do this new Alice Cooper one, and my brother was involved in it. You know, I feel like, you know, that's okay. When it's important and someone's going to say, you know, yeah, I think this works for me. Have you noticed Save Me was really a good track for me to do for the Queen thing. And I actually did two things on the Rod Stewart thing with John, you know, because it really went off really well. Gasoline Alley and what's that other? Yeah, that's it. So, you know, I'm just really Maggie May, right? So I was really pleased with those. You know, I don't rule out doing some more. It's possible. You know, I just don't want to be known though as though he's the guy who's always on those tribute records either. You know what I mean? So that's why the Union stuff's so important to me, and moving forward with new music. And you know, but I try to make sure that whatever I do, I really am proud of it. Alrighty. And see, we got some workforce members here. This is cool. And some pretty girls. And some Union swag. We like that. So we all set it here? Yeah.
All right, let's hear it for Bruce Kulick, everybody.
Rock and Roll All Night brings you interviews, reviews, concerts, music, and more. So for more Rock and Roll All Night content, click subscribe.